In this video, we're going to look at exporting all or selected data from an existing Microsoft Access database containing your corporate needs data, and then importing that data into another database. There are a number of situations which the tool that we have developed is designed to address. 4 of these are: 1. You want to copy all of your data to a clean database as a way to keep your database compact. 2. You want to copy data that has been marked for selection into a separate database for safekeeping or transferred to the client or a new legal counsel. 3. You want to delete data marked for selection, possibly after you have copied it to a new database. And 4. You want to retrieve all or selected data into an Excel workbook for viewing and backup storage, particularly if you do not have Microsoft Access loaded on your computer. A fifth possible situation is one where you want to merge the data from one database into a second database. This is a potentially difficult situation, as you need to make sure that there are no overlaps or duplications in the data, such as the same global ID being used in both databases. Please proceed with extreme caution if that's something that you want to do. First, you'll need to go to your corporateneeds.shop, navigate to the Support and Services screen, click on the Databases and Excel Tools icon, press Get Now or Add to your cart. You will be walked through a series of screens to provide your first name, last name, and email address. Then you will see the displayed screen. You may download one or more of the 5 files that are presented. You will want to download the file that begins with exp_ and ends with the file extension .xlsm. You should also download a blank database from this location if you think that you may want to create a clean database. You should then move those files to the directory where you keep your corporate needs workbooks, databases, and executables. In this video, we have moved the EXP workbook and a blank database to the directory c:/yourcorporateneeds_trial. We begin by opening the Export and Import tool. First, we make sure that the database name and directory location match the files in the working directory. You can see that there is initially no data in the workbook. Pressing the Export All Records from Source to Excel button will start the transfer of data from the Access database file to this Excel workbook. We have selected a database that has about 1,000 corporations in it, and on our computer, transferring all this data takes under a minute. This may take more or less time depending upon the number and complexity of corporations that you have in your database and the speed of your computer. Fortunately, the speed of new computers tends to increase significantly over time. Microsoft Access data files have a size limitation of about 2 gigabytes. That is about 2,000 megabytes, and can become unstable when they approach and exceed that size. Access databases tend to increase in size, and periodically Access users will use a utility in Microsoft Access to compact and repair their databases. This option is not open to you if you do not have Microsoft Access operating on your computer, so we wanted to provide an alternative way to compact your database if you feel that it is becoming too large. You can see that the transfer of data from the source database to Excel has been completed. Pressing the Import Records from Excel to Target button will start the transfer of data from the Excel workbook to the Target Access database file. Using this data transfer tool, you can export the data from your database to Microsoft Excel, which has a 1 million record limitation for each data set, which is very large, and then import this data into the blank database to create a new clean database. As you may have noticed earlier, our 1,000 corporation database is about 15 megabytes in size, which suggests that you are not going to have to be too concerned unless you have an awful lot of companies, which is unlikely for a one-user system. The import process is still in progress, as you can see from the message in the message board. Once the data import is completed, you can look at the data now contained in the separate sheets for each data type in the Excel workbook. And if you have Microsoft Access loaded on your computer, you can also look at the data transfer to the target Access database. We have also added a button that allows you to export only selected records from the source database, and then you can import these to an empty database so that you can then provide them to a client or store off-site. Then you can press a button to delete the selected records from the source database. If you want to create a new database, you should always start with a clean database as your target. To be doubly careful, we have included a button to delete all the records from the target database. If the target database is not empty, then you will have a merging of the two databases, which can be very useful if done correctly, but could create some complications. If you do merge records into a database that is not empty, you should do so with great care. Thank you for viewing this video, and please enjoy using the Export and Import tool.